Hello dear students, welcome to 10th Standard Social Science History Unit 8, Era of Gandhi and National Movement. Dear students, this is one of the most important chapter when it comes to the matter of understanding the Indian history. And another most important thing is, from the examination point of view also, it has a very good weightage. If at all we want to know how India got independence and what was the sacrifice made in attaining the independence of India, we must learn this chapter from the core. Let's go ahead with this chapter. Dear students, can you identify the great personality in this picture? Will you guess who is this great person? Yes, you are exactly right. It is none other than Mahatma Gandhiji. Next, what was Mahatma Gandhiji rightly called as? Yes, dear students, what was he called as? He was rightly called as Bapu. Next, will you name the father of Mahatma Gandhiji? Just see the picture and name. Yes, dear students, you are exactly right. He is Karamchand Gandhi. Will you guess where was Mahatma Gandhiji born? He was born in Porbandar of Gujarat's Kathiawar district. Choose the appropriate answer. Name the mother of Mahatma Gandhiji. Can you guess, dear students? Yes, dear children, Mahatma Gandhiji's mother name was Putlibai. When was Mahatma Gandhiji born? Yes, dear students, he was born on 2nd October 1869. Dear students, in this unit, you will learn about life of Mahatma Gandhiji, Gandhiji's beginning struggles in India, achievements of Gandhiji's inner life, JALLIANWALA BAGH massacre, all these things. Apart from this, you will even learn about Khilafat movement, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement, and round table conferences, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and his Indian National Army, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his reformations, Jai Prakash Narayan and his socialist movements, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Jawaharlal Nehru, all these things you people are going to learn in this chapter. Let's begin our today's unit, that is unit 1 of 8th chapter in history, Introduction to Gandhian era, early life of Mahatma Gandhiji and growth of Mahatma Gandhiji, initial protests of Mahatma Gandhiji in India, achievements of Gandhiji's struggle in India. These are the things we are going to discuss in this unit. Apart from this one, let's know what else we are going to know over here. Gandhian era in India, the period between 1920 and 1947 is known as Gandhian era in the Indian freedom struggle. Gandhiji played very important role in freedom movement. Early life and growth of Gandhiji. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhiji, popularly known as Bapu, was born on 2nd October 1869 in Porbandar of present day Gujarat's Kathiawar district. Early life and growth of Mahatma Gandhiji. Putlibai was Mohandas' mother. She influenced Gandhiji on moral values. It is the fact that we have learnt in the history that the parents and the teachers have great influence on any individual's life and the value system they carry. Here also, dear students, Mahatma Gandhiji was highly influenced by his mother Putli Bai, and she was the one who used to tell him the stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata and various other great epics, and he was highly influenced by the moral values that carried the characters in these great epics. Gandhiji went to England in the year 1888 for law education. He earned the degree of Bar at Law and returned to India. Early life and growth of Mahatma Gandhiji. Mohandas went to Natal of South Africa and he represented Dada Abdullah Company. He stayed in Africa for 20 long years. There he opposed apartheid policy and invented a new way of fighting the injustice, which was called as Satyagraha. The very meaning of the word Satyagraha is urging for truth. Gandhiji in India, the initial protests. Mahatma Gandhiji, as per the instructions of his political guru Gopala Krishna Gokhale, toured entire India in a third class railway compartment to understand what was real India of that time. India of early 19th century was entirely different from what we are seeing today. Dear students, the India was suffering with so many problems in the British hands. During the British rule, India was facing the problem of fulfilling the basic requirements. Let's know more about it, dear students. He gave an institutional shape to his struggle by establishing Sabarmati Ashram at Ahmedabad in the year 1916. Sabarmati Ashram was the head office of his political activities. Most of the important decisions related to political developments, any of the agendas, formulation of the strategies for the freedom movement used to take place in Sabarmati Ashram. Dear students, you need to know one thing. Sabarmati Ashram was so simple that it used to appear like the home of a middle class person. He understood the problems of farmers, Dalits, tribal people, workers, laborers and other sections of the Indian society. Dear students, one thing we need to know very clearly over here, that India of that time was divided in the name of caste, creed, religion, gender, profession and various other dimensions. Thus, it paved way to the British to rule very easily with the policy of divide and rule. Thus, British were successful using the same tool for more than 150 years and continue to rule. Gandhiji in India, the initial protests. In 1917, Gandhiji launched Champarana movement in support of indigo growers and made the British government to accept the demands of the farmers. Why did Gandhiji take the cause or the issue of farmers in the beginning? The concept is very clear, dear students. He took the farmers issue because the majority of the people in India at that time were the farmers. If Mahatma Gandhiji was successful in organizing the farmers, uniting the farmers across India, he would have been successful in organizing major Indians, that is large number of Indians. Thus, he took the issue of farmers, dear students. He was successful in getting the justice for Indian indigo growers. Thus, he gave a new confidence, a new energy to the Indian farmers. Gandhiji in India, the initial protests. In 1918, he started movement to support the mill workers of Ahmedabad and made the British to accept his demands. Later, he held another movement in the Kheda village of Gujarat to oppose the land taxes, and he was successful in this particular protest also. After the farmers, the another major professional oriented community in India were, yes dear students, the workers. He was successful in getting the justice for the workers. Thus, workers developed new confidence, new faith in Mahatma Gandhiji, and they started gradually uniting among themselves. The Indian freedom struggle took a new turn with the arrival of Gandhiji. He employed passive resistance, non-violence and satyagraha as the main strategies in his struggles. Dear students, this was entirely new experiment because nobody thought of passive resistance before Mahatma Gandhiji in India, that without going on with the fight, they could, this passive resistance can be used as a tool, a weapon was for the first time devised by Mahatma Gandhiji. Thus, he created a new way of freedom struggle. He used to express his thoughts in periodicals like Yangan, Harijan, Young India. Through these periodicals, he was successful in dragging the attention of not only the Indians, even the British. Thus, he devised a new system in Indian freedom struggle, and through these periodicals, he was able to reach large number of people across India, and especially the educated Indians, he was able to get their attention. Thus, he was successful in giving a new turn, new way to the Indian freedom struggle. Meaningful achievements of Gandhiji's struggle. Satyagraha is one of the major methods of protest of Mahatma Gandhiji. The word Satyagraha means the assertion of the truth, means the strong demand for the truth. It was one of the major weapon which Mahatma Gandhiji employed in South Africa, and he was successful in getting his demands fulfilled, the demands of his community fulfilled in South Africa. He went on experimenting most of the things what he had already experimented in South Africa. Thus, whatever the success he achieved in South Africa, he was able to get the same amount of success, the same extent of success even in India. Ahimsa is the basic trait of Mahatma Gandhiji's struggle. Without harming, without hurting, without destroying the public property or the people, he used to go ahead with the freedom struggle. He firmly believed that one should face violence with non-violence, that is ahimsa and satyagraha. Gandhiji employed motherly strategies such as ahimsa, satyagraha and fasting against the brutal force of the British like military, police and law. And he was successful in it because Gandhiji knew it very clearly. We the Indians, though very good with the population strength, but very few of us were aware of the military power, law and all. Gandhiji wanted to take the common people as a part of satyagraha, and he wanted to take the entire Indian youth in the path of freedom movement. Thus, he was successful in organizing the large mass against the British, which really made the British to reconsider, rethink in making the new policies, mainly because of Gandhiji. Whatever the new laws, restrictions they used to put on Indians, they started revising once again in terms of Gandhiji's movements. Because Gandhiji was always there whenever injustice used to occur with the Indians. He was the first to raise the voice against the injustice done towards Indians. Unity of Hindu and Muslim. The main weapon, the main policy of the British to rule for a very long period in India, to continue to rule for a very long period in India was divide and rule policy. Gandhiji understood this policy of the British very clearly. So what did he do? He went ahead with uniting the Hindus and Muslims. Gandhiji always championed the unity of Hindu and Muslim during the national freedom struggle. He believed that without unity among Muslims and Hindus, it is difficult to achieve India's independence, and also it becomes difficult to survive as a nation in future. This was the thing that Gandhiji realized well in advance, and he made all the possible efforts in uniting the Hindus and Muslims, in bringing together the Hindus and Muslims. Once the Hindus and Muslims get united, it would have been a cakewalk for the freedom fighters to achieve India's independence and make the British to get out of India. One of the black spots in the history of India in the rule of the British was this Jallianwala Bagh massacre. What do you mean by massacre? Massacre is nothing but killing of the people in a very large scale, very brutally. Dear students, Jallianwala Bagh massacre gave a new turn and twist to the Indian freedom struggle, which was limited to the subclasses like farmers, like workers and all. With the Jallianwala Bagh incident, majority of the Indians woke up in terms of freedom movement. Jallianwala Bagh massacre, the British implemented Rowlatt Act in the year 1919. Through this act, the British started controlling the nationalists. Under the Rowlatt Act, even if they get suspicious about any of the person plotting against the British, they could arrest him without any reason and warrant and keep them under custody. It was inhuman and injustice. Gandhiji and other freedom fighters planned for a very large extent or a mass scale protest against Rowlatt Act. Under this act, they could arrest a man and declare him as an offender in court of law by utilizing numerous political methods like huge public marches and meets along boycotts. The act was opposed. The British government decided to suppress the agitation against the Rowlatt Act. Every freedom fighter knew that Rowlatt Act is going to be a weapon on them or against them. British police officials, British military officials could make best out of this weapon on the freedom fighters. So, almost all the freedom fighters across India, they went ahead with large scale, mass scale agitations against Rowlatt Act. Thus, they wanted to put Rowlatt Act under very clear discussion, and everywhere criticism occurred against the Rowlatt Act. Public meetings were organized, arranged everywhere to put down, to oppose this Rowlatt Act. Thus, Jallianwala Bagh was one such place which witnessed the opposition of this Rowlatt Act. It was Gandhiji who had called for one day hartal, means strike or protests, on April 6th, 1919. Dr. Fakhruddin and Dr. Satyapal and various other leaders of Punjab were arrested in Punjab in concern with the Rowlatt Act protest. To protest these arrests, the people had assembled in Jallianwala Bagh on April 13, 1919, on the day of Baisakhi festival. Dear students, you have studied in geography part that we have different seasons like Kharif season, Rabi season and this Jade season. Baisakhi is one such festival which is celebrated in Karnataka as a Suggi. Like that, in Punjab, what they do? They celebrate this Baisakhi festival as a mark of Rabi season harvest. Thus, they were celebrating this Rabi season harvest, that is the Baisakhi festival. On that day, many of the farmers were having free time, and a large number of farmers and freedom fighters gathered at a place called as Jallianwala Bagh. Bagh is a Hindi term which means park. Here, this was the park in Jallianwala, that is in Punjab, hence it was named as Jallianwala Bagh. The people gathered to protest against the arrest of many freedom fighters, especially Dr. Fakhruddin and Dr. Satyapal. These people were going on a peaceful protest, and the leaders were giving the speech how the British went ahead with injustice against the Indians. Thus, at the same moment, something unusual, unexpected, a black spot in the history has occurred. The military general of Amritsar, General O'Dwyer, fired at the peacefully assembled the people and killed around 380 protesters. Thousands were injured. The protesters did not go with any sort of violence. There was no need for the General O'Dwyer to go on with the firing. He could have gone ahead with the orders to disperse, but without giving any clear instructions, he just ordered his army people to open the fire on the peacefully protesting Indians. In that protest, 380 people were killed on the spot and thousands were injured. This incident saddened the people like Gandhiji and others. Military rule was implemented in Punjab. After this incident, Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood award back, opposing the mindless violence of the British. This became the reason for launching non-cooperation movement by Mahatma Gandhiji across the nation. Thus, Jallianwala Bagh became a spark of mass movement in India. It was criticized not only in India but across the globe, because this was inhuman injustice done towards the peacefully organized people in the Jallianwala Bagh. Jallianwala Bagh was a place which was walled, and there was no place for the people to get scattered. Thus, it became very easy for the British to kill many Indians. After this, Khilafat movement was another massive movement that took place in India, and Khilafat movement united the Hindus and Muslims. It became a tool to unite the Hindus and Muslims. Dear students, it acted as a amalgam for Hindus and Muslims. What is this Khilafat movement? Let's know more. The Sultan of Turkey were also the religious leaders of Turkey and were called as Caliph. During the World War I, the British harassed the Caliph, and this was widely protested by the Muslims of the world. Yes, dear students, you all have studied in the first chapter of history in 9th standard. Who were these Caliphs? Shall I make you people to recall it? Yes, dear students, Recall it? Who were the Khalifas? Yes, dear students. Khalifas were the political and religious head of Islamic people and Islamic countries. Thus, the arrest of the Khalifa in Turkey was a major event on the parts of the Muslims across the world. Thus, everywhere the protests started against the arrest of the Khalifa. Thus, in India, two brothers by name Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, these two brothers started the Khilafat movement, supporting Turkey against the arrest of Khalifa. In the year 1919, Gandhiji extended his support to this movement. He wanted to have an active participation on the part of Muslims in Congress. He wanted to attract the Muslims towards Congress. Thus, without going for the second thought, Congress extended its support to the Khilafat movement. This was a movement wherein both Hindus and Muslims participated across India, that is, nationwide protests occurred in India. Yes, dear students, it gave a new twist, new turn to the Hindu-Muslim unity. Yes, dear students, we have reached to the end of the first part of this chapter. Let's discuss the home assignments. Here are the home assignments for you, which are there on page number 26 of your part 2 textbook. Let's see which all the home assignment questions are exercises. First one, fill up the blanks with suitable answers. You need to answer, Gandhiji was born in the year. Yes, dear students, you need to answer it. Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place while protesting against Dash Act. Yes, dear students, think over the answer. The movement led by Ali brothers was. Yes, dear students, go ahead with the answer. Yes, dear students, in this part, let's quickly recall what all we have learnt. We have discussed about the introduction to Gandhian era, early life and growth of Gandhiji, initial protests of Gandhiji in India, achievements of Gandhiji's struggle. These are the things that we have discussed in this part of the chapter. The other home assignments for you people are, answer the following questions. Write a brief note on early life of Mahatma Gandhiji. You need to write in brief about where was Mahatma Gandhiji born, who were his parents, and how he went ahead with the studies and all. Explain the internal tools of Gandhiji's struggle. Briefly, you need to explain about Satyagraha and Ahimsa, dear students. Jallianwala Bagh massacre became the reason to launch non-cooperation movement, justify. Here, you need to write about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, how it was an injustice on the part of the Indian freedom fighters. Why did Mahatma Gandhiji supported Khilafat movement? You need to write the reason behind it. So, these are the home assignments, dear students. You need to write the questions and also the answers in your notebook neatly. Yes, dear students, this is Sharan Basappa, HOD of Social Science Department, Carmel High School, Judges Colony, Basveshwar Nagar, Bengaluru 79, North 1 of Bengaluru. Thank you very much, dear students, for your patience listening. Wish you all the success.